Hello, everyone. I'm Elise Randolph, joined by Damassys Kadesh, and we are here bringing you SSI Season 2, the semi-final round. There are just 4 teams left fighting for contention here. The loser goes on to play in the third, fourth place, and the winner continues on to see if they can get glory, to see if they can take that #1 spot and the everything, all the accolades that go along with it. So we've got Zero Talent, which their name may kind of give you guys a bit of a curveball. They're kind of stacked versus some low sec gods, I guess you want to call them. Stay Frosty. Damassys, why don't you tell me a little bit about some of these teams?
Yeah, I mean, Zero Talent's got some pretty recognizable pilots there, Hoodie Mafia and the like. Kellen Darklight as well was the Yamar champion, actually, the final champion. So they're no strangers to tournament play. And then we got some low sec pilots also with quite a bit of experience. So this is going to be quite the match, I think.
Yeah, and I think both of these teams are feeling really, really good going into this, right? So we were talking just before the match because we got to see the bans. Stay Frosty banned out the Zero Talent Armageddon team and picked their own Armageddon team, thinking that's the nuts. They're like, we got this. We've got the best core out there. Tell me about Zero Talent.
Well, they've done the exact same thing as we can see here. It's kind of like a mirror from left to right. They've banned Zero Talent's banned Stay Frosty's Hyperion comp and brought their own Hyperion comp. So like you said, they each sort of seem to think they know what the strongest core or sort of battle the top end of the comps are, and they've prevented their opponent from bringing it. And then as a result of their own being open, they've brought their own. So they feel confident in having brought the best version of the comps that they had available. So what do you think is going to be stronger here? Just the brute force and tanking power of the hype, or do you think the neuting from the Geddon is going to be able to overwhelm the hype comp?
And I don't know. So this Geddon is like this super control oriented setup, which means you have to pilot really, 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 really well. If you make any small mistakes, you are pretty much doomed. On the Zero Talent side, all they have to do is play keep away from this Geddon, right? They just have to keep 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers away from this Geddon, go away and start picking off other stuff, like get this bomber down, get this Kiki down, hope this Vedmak doesn't ramp up on anything. And the
funny.
Hyperion, it can't track, right? It's got just completely garbage tracking. But when you've got the 90% web from a Vigilant, you can basically hit anything.
Yeah, but the thing too is that that whole hype comp, even the Retribution we looked at has Gatling pulse lasers. They're all very close range oriented, so they're going to need to get close, which might put them under the newts of the Geddon. And if there's enough time elapses, that Geddon's going to start shutting things down as the match gets underway. What does it look like for the Warpins here?
Yeah, I mean the Zero Talent team came in at range. They're going in at 50. They just want to be able to decide. And we see right now their screeners are just going right out in front, just to make sure that this Geddon doesn't make a running charge or even some sort of wonky, just wonky jump at them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna check the fittings here, but I don't believe the hype has a jump drive. No, so it does not have a jump drive. So he's gonna have to cross all that distance to get on top of something. Right now, he's kind of looks like he's out on his own. Zero Talent's it's gonna take some time before they're gonna get their DPS sort of focused and make progress against anything on the Stay Frosty side.
Yeah, Zero Talent, they just send their support wing out just to do a little bit of a poking. They're trying to get this Purifier down. The Purifier is like the small ship that can do a lot of damage to the hype over time. So they want to get that off. It's like the lowest tank, highest DPS ship, just get rid of it. And it looks like the Navy Omen of the Stay Frosty side is just tearing into this Purifier. And he's about to go down now. That's going to be a pretty early blow. He just could not get out of the transversal of that Navy Omen. They tried, the Zero Talent team did just a really good job. But Stay Frosty, they tried to tracking disrupt this Navy Omen. Didn't work. Sebastian was able to get in there, Carl was able to get in there and pop that Purifier real quick.
Yeah, you can see the Stay Frosty Omen is just burning away, a swarm of drones chasing him. Zero Talent are really sort of zoning in on him. But I have been noticing the Zero Talent team has had the energy neutralizing effect. You can see it applied to multiple ships on their side. So that Geddon is being effective, and the longer that this match goes on, the more trouble Zero Talent's going to have under all that cap pressure.
Yeah, so when you think about it, the control that the Geddon offers, it's one of these things that takes a long time to feel its effect, right? If this Geddon was sitting on top of this Hyperion, it would take like 4 cycles of its newts to completely get it cap dry, right? And as you can see, the Geddon's kind of trying to position himself, trying to get this Vigilant off, trying to get this Omen, trying to get this tackle off, which is what he should be doing. Because if he just focuses on the Hyperion, the rest of his team is going to just fall by the wayside. So he's got to really start disrupting this Vigilant if they can. This Magus is a great target if they can get it down, because the Magus from the Zero Talent team is just running all links. It's essentially just boosting up by 30% the EHP of all the ships on the Zero Talent side. So if they can get it down, it'll be worth it, even if they can trade it for their own Myrmidon, which is what's happening right now. This Hyperion is sitting on the face of Random McNally, grappled web, just landing into him. This guy cannot move.
Yeah, the Zero Talent guys have finally gotten to position because they also had that Kikimora tackled, and it was like 2 fights going on at once as you see them both going down at the same time. So the Myrm and the Kiki both taken out. Meanwhile, the Vedmak, they were switching on and getting a head start on tackle on the Vedmak. So they've really gotten focused, gotten their DPS in position despite the pressure from the Geddon. I don't think that Geddon's going to be able to do much at this point.
Oh, this Geddon's got to focus on this Vigilant. The Vigilant is holding this Vedmak down. Look, he's static, is barely moving, is going 3 meters a second. Not because he's not trying, but this 90% web from the Vigilant is just holding him down, and now he is dead. That is the only hope the Stay Frosty team had of getting this Hyperion down. And now it's all for naught. Oh my god, the Stay Frosty team is just exploding.
Yeah, the Zero Talent side, their comp has a lot of potential DPS despite... the Magus just went down there. Was that a boundary, potentially? Or I didn't quite see if something got a hold of it. I know it was a bit low.
It looks like the beams from the Stay Frosty side, they ended up going with a beam Navy Omen, which is generally you see pulses. Zero Talent took the pulse Navy Omen, Stay Frosty took the beam Navy Omen.
Right, so
they really
had
the
Magus.
good idea of getting that Magus down, but it just took way too long.
Yeah, exactly. And the Zero Talent, I was just saying there that they have so much DPS if they can get it into position, whereas the Stay Frosty side, they're much more based around the control of that Geddon. And even though they have the Kiki there to sort of make up for, the Kiki and the Purifier in the low end to try to make up for the lack of DPS on their high end, it just did not work out for them here.
Yeah, now that's Geddon, he's trying his hardest. He's trying to nuke this Hyperion out, and also the Vigilant, which is, a great call, but as you said, even if he continues to nuke this hype out, this Hyperion's got a cap booster with 3200s in it. He's only got 8 of them, because that's all the hype can really fit. But when he pushes that button, he gets a third of his cap back instantly, right? So he can keep firing, he can still keep doing things. And this Harbinger and Navy Omen are just really positioned outside of the fight, outside of the range of this Geddon, and they can just do all of the damage they want. And there he goes. Sebastian in the Navy Omen's the only one that's left, and he's not even trying to run that hard. He knows what's happening here.
Yeah, you can see all the arrows pointing at him from the blue ships there on the screen. But yeah, it's really interesting. It seemed to take a while for much of anything to happen at the start there, and I sort of thought that Stay Frosty was in a good position in the sense that Zero Talent would have a lot of distance to cover, and the Geddon would be able to apply its pressure for a while before they would get on top of them. But Stay Frosty just had a real hard time making any progress, really. If you look at the ships there, they got the Magus, but the Hyperion took a little scratch, and that was pretty much it. So very convincing win from Zero Talent here. Very well executed.
Yeah, I guess we know now that the Hyperion is the ship to beat, and Zero Talent will keep moving forward, see if they can get first place. Stay Frosty will drop down, try and go for the 3rd, 4th place finisher. See if maybe they've learned a little bit here, and maybe they don't want to take a Geddon setup again.
Yeah, definitely. And they can't actually, as far as the rules go. Once you bring a comp, you can't bring it again. And then there's also new bans, so it'll be really interesting to see what situation they find themselves in their next match.
All right, for Damassys Kadesh, I'm Elise Randolph. We will see you later with more explosions.